Hi guys, welcome back to Cloud Genius. My name is Penty Joseph. In this video, we will be looking at the AWS SimuLearn. We will look at one of the labs called core security concepts. So it's just a basic lab that is going to introduce us to the AWS core concepts of the cloud. So we will be working on these. All right. Give me a second. All right. So, um, yeah, this is the lab. This is the architecture diagram, and you can see we have already read couple of instructions and then what's the lab demanded for. Okay, so you can spend some time do a couple of reading just to understand what the lab demands for. So, the architecture diagram consists of a user and a group, and these users are going to, or these groups are going to be given a specific permission, and that is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, so um yeah, so we are going to create this user and then add the user to a group. Okay, so I'm moving on to the practice side. You can see the architecture diagram once again, so I'm going to say continue. Now I already have an idea of what to do, so I've started my lab. I'm just going to say that they should open the console. All right, and say next, next. Okay, so we are looking for IAM. Then after looking for IAM, we will try to create a group. Then we will name this group support engineers. Then what do we do? We will now give the policy to the group called Amazon read only. All right. So after that, we will try to create users. All right. Whenever you see any of these issues, just click here. Okay. It's as a result of you not signing out in a lab or your personal account. So click here and then go back on the lab to click on it. It's going to auto sign you in like this. All right. So we have an idea, IAM, identity and access management. So we are going to create users, okay? Users are used for groupings. So we can attach users to a group, say create group, and say call these group support engineers. What is the policy? They said easy to read only. Yes, there is a read only permission right here that we are seeing easy to read only. Select that and say create group. All right, and say we are supposed to create users. Say create users. What is the name of the user? The user name is support engineer one. So I'm giving it support engineer one. They said we should provide um, management console access, that is graphical user interface access. Okay, this is what we call the graphical user interface, what you can see point and click. That is what we call the graphical user interface. So they said we should assign it a custom password called support password exclamation. So I'm going to say this and say show password to see if it's correct. And now, if you enable this, they will prompt the user to change the password on the first sign in, but I'm going to say no because the lab tells us exactly what to do. Okay. All right. And I'll say next. Yeah, Google is trying to warn me that the password has been found in a data breach, but of course, I don't need it for anything. It's just for lab purposes. I'm saying never. And I'm adding this user to the group that I've already created, which is the support engineers. I'm saying next. Now we were advised to use tagging. So I'm going to say next. All right, I've already added this side. I'm saying next. So the key is going to be job title. Then the value is going to be support engineers. Okay, or support engineer. All right. So we tag it nicely and then we say create user. All right, so we have to download this CSV. You can download and keep it. In a real world, you are supposed to get it. Okay, but this is a lab, so we know the password and all those things. We can leave it like this. But in the real world, you have to click on download CSV file to keep this in a safer place. Okay. All right, so we are now supposed to log in into the user that we have created. So they are telling us to copy the URL. Yeah, let me show you another way to get the URL. It's not mandatory to copy it from here. You see what we downloaded, the CSV file. Just open the CSV file like this. Let me close this, don't save. So let me make sure that I'm opening the correct file. That's why I'm closing it. All right. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can have an idea of what is on here. So, all right. So the URL and all those things, I want to have clear access to it, so I'm making it bigger. Now, look at this. We can also come here and copy all this. We can say copy, and then we go here, we open incognito mode, okay? You can use a different browser or open incognito mode. It's just going to do the same thing, okay? I will demonstrate all the two for you. So say this, click and yeah, try to access it. You are going to be queried on the IAM username. You can come here and say you already know the username, so you come here and copy that. Copy. Go back to this, which the username V. Now go back to the CSV, copy the password. Go back here and put the password, okay? And say sign in. Yeah, so we have basically sign in, right? This is incognito mode. Now I'm going to sign in with another browser. So let me demonstrate that for you. Sorry. All right. Let me use another browser. Unfortunately, I don't have any powerful browser like Firefox, but let me use Microsoft Edge. So let's go back to the URL. It's always important. So um, I can even copy it from here, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm closing it. So one of the things that you don't have to do, like what I have just done, is we will have to do the whole thing again. Why do we have to do it again? Because once you try to log in, okay, once you try to log in to the IAM user and the lab console with on the same browser, there will be confliction. So you will not know, the browser is not going to know which one to render for you, whether the IAM or the lab user. So that is why sometimes you might see sign in again and those things. Okay. So I've closed that and then I've opened it again just for the browser to know, oh, this is what I'm accessing. Okay. So when you are copying the URL, just make sure that you are not opening it. Okay. So hit it like this and say copy. And I want to open it in the Edge. I'll say paste and go. Going back to that because I know I will need the username. Okay. All right. And say copy. Go back to the Edge. Put the username right here. Go back to the password. Copy the password right here and say password and say sign in. Okay. Yeah, so this is just to demonstrate to you that if you don't use the incognito mode, you can also use another browser. Okay. It doesn't matter, just use a different browser or the incognito mode. The idea of the incognito mode is just to tell the system that it should act as a different browser on its own or a private browser where it's not going to use the cookie of the old one and all those things so that it doesn't crash with the lab. So that is exactly what is happening here. You see the same lab has been logged on here as an IAM user. Okay. So let's focus more on the incognito because that is what the lab requested for. So I'm just going to say next, 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 next. And then if you go back to the lab, you realize that there are some things that we have to do. That is, let's go back to the lab. you realize they were telling us that, okay, so go to the support engineer, you click on the support engineer, go to the next step. Then what do? We go to security credentials, then yeah, review the MFA. So let's try to review that and then review the access key. So they don't have any access key yet. I'm not sure they do. So let's go to the users and then support engineers under security. Let's try to check on them. So MFA, they don't have any multi-factor authentication or shared yet. They also don't have access key. Access key is for CLI or the software development kit. It's when you want to talk to AWS directly through commands or yes, through command. Okay. All right. The programmatic access. That is how you understand it better. All right. So it doesn't have because we allowed it only graphical user interface. Okay. So go back to the lab to see what we are requested to do again. Oh, we've done all of this. We've already signed in as the user. So they are telling us that when we sign in as the user, we should check EC2. So when we check EC2, what are we supposed to do? So I think I went more than I was supposed to. All right, we will check EC2. Then we should make sure we are in the North Virginia, that's US East 1. All right. And why do I keep on clicking the next one instead of the one? Okay, sorry. So we check on that and then make sure we go to running instance. Okay, we will have one running instance and then we should try to terminate it to see. All right, terminate. We should get an error because, yeah, we are allowed to only look at the server. We are not authorized to terminate the server. Okay, so let's practice this on all the two occasions. Let's practice it on the incognito and also go to Edge to do that and see. So they said we should look for EC2. All right. And currently, as you can see, we are not in North Virginia, so we won't see the running instance. I think I'm currently in the Stockholm region, if I'm right. I saw Stockholm at the top here. Uh, that is finished loading. Yeah, so I saw Stockholm here. You can see it right here. If yours also is Stockholm, try to change it to North Virginia. You see there is no instance running in Stockholm because that is not where the lab provision. Okay, so North Virginia right here, US East 1. Let's click on that. We should have one instance running according to the lab. Ah, my network is a bit rough. All right, so let's wait for a little longer. Okay, so I'm closing this. All right, we can see one instance running, so let's open it just like the lab suggested. Okay, so we should go to EC2. This one too is the edge, right? Look at it. Is the edge. So I'm trying to demonstrate also with the edge to tell you that it is not because we are doing it in the incognito mode, but that is how, because the permission is not allowing the user to perform the action. Okay. So when you give it a read only is just like go there and then look at it. Okay. Look at it as any number of times that you want to look at it, but you can make changes to it. That is it. Okay. So it's just like being or shared something. Let's say your sister or your brother has given you a toffee. Okay, take care of this toffee. You are not supposed to eat it. And that is it. Okay. You take care of it only. You read the toffee. You can read inscription or anything that is inscribed on the toffee, but you can't eat it. Okay, so that is it. So let's select these. Let's select these. Okay. So I'm trying to let us use the incognito mode first. So let's use the incognito mode, which is the um Chrome. Okay. So incognito mode. Now it is right here. You can see the server, you can see the IPv4 of the server, everything, right? So let's do this when we can check the security, we can check everything about the server here. Okay. The network, the storage, we can check all those things. Now let's try to terminate the server. So I'll just go to terminate and say terminate. Look at it. You are not authorized to perform this operation. Okay. And they are telling us that, yeah, we are not authorized to perform this. And then giving us our username and telling us it's not authorized to perform this termination instances. Okay. On the resource that you are trying to terminate, you don't have the power, you don't have the capacity. All right. So let's try to do that on this edge to also see. So let's change the region again to North Virginia. All right. So, um, I think the edge is having a tough time in loading. I'm not going to use the edge right after this. I'll just close it so we can focus on the incognito mode. Okay. Yeah. So, for time's sake, I'm just going to close that. But basically, you are going to get the same result. If you try terminating it, the same result is what you are going to get. Okay. So, yeah, you can see it from the lab that they said we will get this, and that is exactly what we are getting. Okay. Yeah, so we are done with what the lab practice. Now we will have to do a DIY, okay, do it yourself. So what are we asked to do? They are saying grant support engineers group read-only access to Amazon RDS. Okay, so we've been asked to grant read-only access also to Amazon RDS. All right, so before that, let's see. Let's try to do RDS. Okay. So RDS, let's do Aurora and RDS. All right. So we are not authorized to even perform this, not to even read it. Okay. We are not even making changes to this, but because we are not authorized to even look at the databases in the first place. So what do? Let's go back to the lab accounts. Okay. So let's go back to the lab and then under the users and groups, go to the groups, open the support engineer groups. Now, no, not add user, sorry, go back. So go to permissions, try to add permission. So attach a policy. Now we are looking for RDS read only. It is right here, right? So you can see RDS read only access, attach it to the user. Now, you don't have to go and do anything to this user again. Why? Because I'm a policeman, okay? And then the government is saying every policeman is going to get $1,000 for free. Now, automatically, I don't have to go and prove that I'm a policeman, so the government should give me because they already have your detail. They know that you are a policeman, okay? So whatever policy that will be applied to police people, you will automatically be qualified for that policy. That is what is happening here. Because this support engineer is part of this group, which is the support engineers group, and then an authority has been given to them to read what only on RDS and then EC2. Now let's go back to the incognito mode. So first we had this, right? Let's try to refresh this. You see, now the error is gone. Why? Because we now have the power to look at this RDS now. So we refresh it any number of times, and then we are not being told that we are not authorized because we have the power now. Okay, we have the power to look whether it's running or not. Okay, so yeah, this is what you are asked to to do according to the lab. So there is a validation that we will have to do when it comes to the DUI. So let's say next, and then they are telling us to give the IAM user group name. So you can always get those things from here. Okay. So the group name, don't forget, it is called support engineers. You can copy that. And then when you get here, you can see paste. Okay. So you do it like this. Yeah, you leave it. Then you make sure that you don't leave any spaces behind here and say validate. Okay. All right. So you did it. You see, we've now been able to add the policy, do all those things that they required of us to do. And that is it exactly. We have the green. We have finished with what they wanted us to do. Okay. So that is it. We we are done. Okay. All right. So we can likewise try, let me see this. Yeah, you can download this architecture diagram and then try to play around it yourself just to be familiar with the concept of IAM, okay, the basic IAM. However, if you want to then what you want to do, let's explore, keep the assignments, exist. All right, so I want to exit out of this. I don't want to do any assignments again, so I'm just going to say exit. Okay. All right, that is it. So we are done with this lab. Now, if you have any problem, don't forget to reach out to me. I'll always respond to you. So that is all about this lab. Okay. Thank you.